There's no good way to start this video. My name is Arlene. I make art, I do science, amongst other things. I know this is my very first YouTube video and I know this is a really heavy topic for me to start with. I was really unsure of if I wanted to share or not, but it did take up a huge chunk of my 2024. It took a lot of energy out of me. I'm still trying to get over the situation because it was very hurtful, disrespectful, all of the above, and I'm still trying to heal from it, so I'm hoping that by making this video, it could kind of be a little symbol of closure for me to put it out there in the world, stop talking about it forever because this video exists. Huge disclaimer, the goal of this video is not to put anybody down, not to feed into cancel culture, but to kind of shed light on how common harassment and stalking is for those who make content online. This is one of the consequences of posting yourself online. Frequently, people tend to create these parasocial relationships with you. I also want to talk about how difficult it was to navigate the legal system because I have no legal background. I've never been to court until this situation, and it was so difficult. It was so hard and very scary, and I don't want how scary the legal system is to stop people from getting the justice that they deserve. So I'm hoping that by sharing my story, that others will find the courage to find justice for themselves in whatever situation you're going through. It doesn't even have to be harassment. So it started in October of 2023 and I was in the midst of applying to grad schools. That deadline is December 1st. So leading up to then, I was locked in. I didn't want anybody to bother me. I just wanted to focus on writing my essays, and that's that. Leading up to December 1st, he had made multiple advances to try to go on a date with me, including offering to pay for my plane tickets, offering to buy my concert tickets so I can spend time with him, which I declined, which he then responded to by offering to drive up to see me in the Bay Area, which I said no to. And as a compromise, he said, okay, if you don't want me to visit you in your city, can we meet up in Monterey? And proceeded to send me a whole list of things. So I respond to that by saying, your messages have made me very uncomfortable. Please stop messaging me. So that was the first time I kind of really set my boundaries and told him to stop messaging me, which he then responded to by a whole list of things that he liked about me relating to things that I had posted online. I blocked him on Instagram, then messaged me on Facebook the day after, not even addressing the fact that I had blocked him, just blocked him everywhere. Everywhere that I could. I went on LinkedIn, I blocked his phone number, Instagram, Messenger, Snapchat, anything that I could find, I blocked him. Naturally, he made a bunch of fake Instagram accounts, started messaging me, started messaging my friends. I felt just so disrespected. The big struggle was feeling validated throughout this whole process because it was all online. I could just close my eyes, but regardless, it still affected me. It affected the way that I created. I'm a painter. I was also teaching percussion and I had to step away from the children at times. I didn't want to take it out on the kids, so I stepped away in my car and cried during rehearsals. It was just getting in the way of my daily life. In January, he had a friend reach out to me and sent me a 10-page single-space document that he wrote about me and how all of my artworks relate to him and our relationship. And being so narcissistic, thinking that everything that I did was about them. It wasn't until March of 2024 when my art account kind of started blowing up a little bit. I wanted to take it a little more seriously, so I added my business email to my Instagram bio. And the day after, I started getting a ton of messages from my stalker asking to meet, planning more dates. So I had some friends send a message on my behalf, basically threatening him with a restraining order to stop contacting me, that many people know about the situation. And he stopped for a little bit, and for about a month, I didn't see any messages until I checked my spam folder one day. And that's when I saw multiple emails a day. In these emails, he was starting a project about all of my art, assuming their meanings for whatever he had perceived me as. He would relate it to what he thought I was doing. He sent me whole documents of plans that he had for my art, what they meant, choreography that he was going to make to them. And at that point, I had consulted a lawyer. She was telling me that, yeah, this is grounds for a restraining order, but I needed a little bit more ground to stand on before I could actually do it. She had told me to send one last message from my own email. I had told him that his actions, again, have made me feel unsafe and disrespected, and I never want to hear from him again. My last straw was when I moved down to SoCal. The day after I moved down to Los Angeles, I hadn't publicly shared that I was moving, but somehow I think he found out and he emailed me and said, we need to meet. I was so scared. I talked to a lot of friends about it and they all agreed that I should probably do it for my own safety. So I did. I gathered my evidence, organized it, filed it, and I had a friend serve him the papers as well. What's really surprising, I used a service to file all my papers and I didn't get an email back from the court. I didn't hear anything at all for a few weeks until I went in person and was like, I filed this weeks ago. What's the status on it? And they said, oh, you have a court date in a couple weeks. And I had no clue. I had filed these papers and I had no clue about my own court date. So that should give you a clue as to how hard it was to navigate the court system. Went to court. When I was there, my case actually got singled out by the bailiff and he sent me down to mediation. I know they weren't, but it felt like they were convincing me to not file a restraining order against him because it would, quote unquote, damage his personal life. They were saying, you can just come to mediation right here. You can just agree to let this go. I thought about it for a second, but I had gone through so much work to prepare all of this evidence. That wasn't an option for me anymore. I was not having it. I was very upset at the meeting. I was like, hell no. I want to see a judge today. He was like, okay. He sent us back upstairs to see the judge. Waited my turn, did my testimony. Judge asked if he had anything else to say. He said no, I take full responsibility. And I was granted a 3-year restraining order. I kind of brushed the whole thing off as a joke, just a little bit, because I really didn't want to face the reality of me having an actual stalker. Because I honestly thought this was all in my head. It felt like such a relief for the judge to be on my side and to know that this was a stalking case and it was harassment. So it felt really good. And since then, my life has been great. It's been very quiet. He hasn't reached out at all. It's felt so nice knowing that he can't surprise me or else there will be consequences. That feels great. And I think everybody deserves to have that peace of mind if they're going through something similar. Lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my friends and family for understanding me and giving me a safe space to return to when I felt unsafe. I also had friends who went to the court with me, which I very much appreciate. I was so scared. But just having my friends with me to hold my hand while he was on the other side of the room was really the safety that I needed. Thank you for listening to my story. I know this was a heavy first YouTube video. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is anesthetic. You can check it out if you want to. I hope you are all live, laugh, loving. Peace and love. Bye.